Hey guys, welcome to another episode of LJS Garage, and behind me is a 2019 Jeep Renegade, and as Jeep would say, it is styled for urban adventure. So stay tuned, we're going to talk about exactly what that means. So I do like the looks of the Renegade. It's not exactly the rugged, aggressive looks of the Wrangler, but as far as in the Jeep lineup, it's the cute little sibling to the Wrangler. One of the first things that you'll notice is how tall this is. It's a compact SUV, but this square little boxy shape that they do gives you plenty of headroom in here, and you got your roof racks up there. Everything's pretty nice on this Renegade. So this is your typical Jeep grille, but it's styled a little bit different, so you still got the same amount of spindle spokes and everything like that. But behind these are active dampers. That's a new feature that Jeep brought in 2019 to improve fuel economy. So it gives it a nice, cute look, but still got that same Jeep feel. So you'll never forget what you're driving. One of my favorite things about the Renegade are these taillights, because they've got these little X's. So as you'll see in a moment, as you press the brakes, these light up, and I think it's one of the most unique brake lights I've ever seen. The Renegade comes in about 5 trims, and this one right here is the Latitude trim, which is one up from the Sport. Cargo space back here is actually pretty nice considering it's a compact SUV. It's right on par with everything in this class, and these seats actually do fold flat. So if you do need the extra space, the option is there. I think that the designer of the Renegade decided to just put in cargo nets everywhere, but I'm not sure what you're supposed to really do with this. The cool thing with these is it's 2019, so times have changed. So you do get keyless entry as standard, and then you also get these fancy key fobs with remote start on the Latitude. In typical review fashion, here we are in the back seat. And as you can see, there's plenty of room. It's, again, a compact car. I'm not the tallest person, and I'm not the shortest. So I'm right there smack dab in the middle, and I have plenty of room. For you taller guys, this might not be the most practical space for you to be in. But in the rear of the rest of the car, though, there's not much back here. There's one USB port and really no climate control vents, no nothing. So you're kind of on your own. It's more of a spot for dogs and cats and gerbils. Another thing I really love is that around the Renegade, you'll find these little tributes to Jeep, these Easter eggs that are hidden, and they're a nice little touch. It makes the car nice and fun. You have 2 engine options, the 1.3 liter 4-cylinder turbo, and then the 2.4 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. So for $1,500, you get the turbo engine option, and the benefit to that is an extra 25 more torque. As far as transmission options, they've gotten rid of the manual, so the only option you have is the 9-speed automatic, which shifts pretty smooth. And then as far as speed goes, this isn't one of the fastest of the Jeep lineup, but it does do 0 to 60 in about 10 point something seconds. So, I mean, it's not the slowest, but it's not the fastest either. And if you're wondering, the horsepower range is about the same. The 2.4 liter has about 180 horsepower, and then the 1.3 liter gets 177. So pretty much neck and neck with horsepower. The torque is the only difference. The first thing you'll notice whenever you hop in is it'll say "To New Adventures," and you hit that little push start. Here's another one of the cool little Easter eggs. It's a little Jeep from back in the 50s driving around. And look, here we have another Easter egg. The one thing with this is you don't get a lot of storage space up here. This is pretty much all that you get. You kind of have to fight with your passenger if you have a lot of stuff you need to put in storage. So I really like this Uconnect system. So thanks Fiat for that. It's pretty handy because you got your climate control options up here, as well as you've got the manual buttons down at the bottom. But it's got everything: Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and then you've got your maps, all of that good stuff. And you get the option of either a 5-inch touchscreen or a 7-inch touchscreen. For having such a huge visor, look at how small this vanity mirror is. I can't do my makeup in this. All right, it's time to drive the Renegade. Well, I've already driven it, but for you guys. So here we go. Safety first, all buckled up. I've got to say that I enjoy driving it. It's definitely an urban machine because of the small wheelbase. It doesn't quite feel as aggressive and rugged as the Wrangler, which I like. If I'm going to live with this every day, I don't like driving the Wrangler. Those of you that don't know, I did own a Wrangler. It was a 2001, and it's nothing like this. The Renegade's actually comfortable and smooth and refined. The cool thing with this Renegade is that Jeep offers the all-wheel drive as an option, and it's only $1,500, which, again, some of you might think that's a lot, but for having the all-wheel drive as an option, I think that's pretty fair, and I would actually jump on it, my personal preference. So I'm gonna floor it in this thing. Here we go. It's not exactly fast, but it'll move out of its own way. I remember reading an article about the Renegade a few years back, and someone described it as it's slower than a three-legged turtle. And that's a little harsh. It's not that slow. So I'm gonna whip this thing around this corner right here. Here we go. Oh, it handles all right. It doesn't really instill confidence, but again, which Jeep really does? So one feature that you can get on these is the removable roof, and it's a pretty pricey option. I wouldn't necessarily say get it unless you really are gonna keep the roof panels off. The one thing with driving it is you feel like you're kind of in a spaceship, like a big bubble, similar to like a Nissan Cube. And some people might like that, but I feel like there's a lot more wasted space in here. And I felt like Jeep could have done a lot more and given you a lot more and actually made use of this to, I don't know, do something spectacular. So Jeep's definitely got the urban part right. Now, as far as adventures go, I know I've read on the forums and I've read different articles about the Renegade, and a lot of people say that it holds true to the Jeep name and it's an awesome off-roader, especially again with the small wheelbase. It makes a nice little trail rig, and it can actually tow 2,000 pounds. So a little trailer here and there, and it's a nice little Jeep, I guess. As far as fuel economy goes, this is actually pretty fuel efficient as far as by, you know, Jeep standards and small SUVs. It's not at the top of the list, but it's not really at the bottom either. So you get about 22, 23 miles per gallon in the city, and then on the highway, 30, 31, depending on if you have front wheel drive or all wheel drive. As I was driving, I remembered that I'm not a huge fan of these blind spots in the Renegade, and that was one of the big turnoffs for me. But Jeep does a good job of offering a lot of safety features. Not a lot of them come standard, so the backup camera is there, but it doesn't have like the active blind spot monitoring and stuff like that. You have to pay extra for those features. So that's where I start to look at things like the CX-3 and other small compact cars that come with a lot of those safety features as standard. I've really enjoyed driving the Renegade, and I can see why it's a budget compact car or compact SUV, excuse me, that is perfect for urban living and has the potential to go off the pavement and into the off-road. So Jeep's done a great job of finding the balance between a city car and a country car. And so if you're on the market for something like that, 2 thumbs up to the Renegade. And that's all I've got on the Renegade. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, be sure to drop them down in the comment section below, and be sure to hit that subscribe button. And thanks again for checking out another episode of LJ's Garage.